All right, Mr. Chair, it is 6:02 p.m. and you have a quorum. For those of us watching on YouTube, we do apologize. We will be audio only tonight due to some video issues.
Ready?
All right, and we will take the roll. Elaine
Great.
DeRiso. Yep. Sorry, go ahead.
No problem. I was just gonna say that we can, for the roll call, just state your name in the microphone starting at that end, please.
Perfect.
State your name.
Elaine Barron-Deriso. Laura Devlin.
Robert Dorenzo.
Edmund DeVoe.
Okay, the roll call.
Edmund DeVoe.
And we're HRPB meeting Wednesday, June 12th, 2024. All right, so pledge of allegiance, please. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, additions, deletions, reordering, approval of the agenda.
We will have one addition in the planning issues. So just a
Okay.
brief board discussion.
All right, and can we get approval of the May 8th, 2024 meeting minutes, please?
Make a motion to approve the minutes for the May 8th, 2024 meeting of the HRPB as documented.
Okay.
We have a first and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passes unanimously. Okay, we need the swearing in of staff and applicants, please. Anybody that's going to speak in front of us or would like to say anything, you need to be sworn in. Stand and raise your right hand, please. Thank you.
Do you swear or affirm the testimony you are about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? If so, say yes.
Yes.
Wonderful, thank you. Proof of publication, I don't think we really.
Yep, we had no items requiring proof
All
of
right.
publication.
Withdrawals and postponements, we're fine there. Consent. Board disclosures. I think we're good there. There really wasn't anything to disclose on there. Okay, unfinished business. No, we're good. New business. All right, let's get started.
All right, so we've got item A. This is project numbers 24-100-097 and 24-12. This is consideration of a COA and a zoning approval for installation of a mural at 601 Lake Avenue. So this is downtown. This is the Cultural Council building at the corner of Lake and South L Street. So what's before you tonight is a new mural installation. I'm sure many of you have heard the existing MLK mural has reached the end of its life. And so we're here to review and approve the 3 finalist designs for the new mural in that location. So that new mural is intended to focus on themes from the previous one, including unity, healing, connections, wellness, belonging, nature, and tranquility. So we've got 3 finalist designs. This is finalist design number 1 by Craig McInnes. All of these are local Palm Beach County-based artists. This is depicting a group of people from all walks of life gathered in a utopian circle of peace, love, and health, enveloped in abstract flower petals. Finalist design number 2 is from Trinity Rivard. This is depicting an inclusive community rooted in an active lifestyle, emphasizing healing through water and the sun, and using vibrant color to represent diversity. And finalist design number 3 is from a pair of artists known as Anon. Their design uses natural beauty, interconnection, and harmony, depicting an exchange between flowers and a bee, reflecting mutual growth that benefits communities and reflects our place in nature. So for murals, we've got a few different standard points of analysis that we do. So this one is just our standard mural criteria. As outlined in our staff report, the proposed mural is in an appropriate zoning district. It would be on the rear of the structure. It would not face Lake Avenue, and there are no commercial messages in the proposed designs. Murals are also subject to our community appearance criteria. And again, in the staff report, we talked about this, but all of the mural options are in good taste and of good design. None of them would cause any harm to the local environment. And they're all in harmony with murals existing elsewhere through the city. I think we all know we've got a pretty broad range of murals here in Lake Worth Beach. And then finally, we're in the historic district, so we do have COA guidelines. Pretty easy stuff here. This would not be a change of use for the property. The installation of the new mural where the previous one existed wouldn't destroy any original architectural features. And historic commercial structures often used murals on rear or side elevations. So it's appropriate for the district and for the neighborhood as a whole. So we're recommending that you approve the mural application with the standard conditions below, applying for a building permit, only including this physical alteration, not, sneaking anything else in other than the mural. And then prior to the building permit, we will require that the mural removal agreement is recorded with the clerk of the court.
Okay. On this one, we do have for public comment prior to making any determination.
Correct. Yep. And
Here to speak on behalf of this mural.
Just to answer any questions you might have, but yes, we're from the Cultural Council.
Oh, okay, welcome.
Thank you.
Okay, so I'm good. I mean, it's my opinion, my personal opinion, if we're trying to keep it the same flavor and theme of what is there now, I like number one. That's just me.
We are voting.
All three somewhere. We have to prove three.
yeah, so the process that they're working to try to get the maximum public input, they're in a process of getting public input on those three finalists right
Okay.
now.
But we
And
have
then, and so really you're giving kind of a blanket approval of any of the
For all
options.
three.
Yeah, you're welcome to
Okay.
express your,
Well, I like number
your
one.
preferences,
Love
yeah.
number three, but I think if we're keeping in the theme, it's number one, but, okay. So can we have a motion, please, or discussion, please?
I thought they were all appropriate. Sad to see the other unit.
I like that one.
Does the cultural council have any, I don't know, if preference is the right word, but, would you be making a recommendation, or are you just taking input from the public?
So we're doing both. We're taking input.
sorry, if you wouldn't mind doing it just into the mic so that we
Sure.
have it. Thank you.
This way we could all hear it.
So we have images of all of these in our building on posters. And we're taking feedback from the public. And there's also lots of feedback that we're monitoring online, Facebook, that type of thing. But there's a committee of arts professionals and also our board members and a few other people who are going to make the ultimate decision on this. These are all mural artists who live and work in Palm Beach County, and they're all established artists. So we know that any one of them could do an excellent job with this.
How many from Lake Worth?
I don't think any of them live in Lake Worth. The one that's closest is Craig McGinnis, the first one that you liked. He lives in West Palm Beach, I believe.
So he's close by. right?
I believe he lives in West Palm Beach.
Oh, yeah, no, well, how many people on the board from Lake Worth?
I'm sorry.
Not the cultural council.
We tried to have your person, William Waters, who is, we invited him to come, but he wasn't able, I guess, to come to the committee meeting, so we haven't had any representation from.
Yeah, and this is for Palm Beach County, the cultural council, not specifically Lake Worth, am I correct?
Correct, yeah, Cultural Council for Palm Beach County.
I have a question about the removal. What is that about?
Sure, so that's just a standard part of any application. Basically, the removal agreement says if this becomes a hazard in some way or gets so deteriorated that it's a public nuisance, we have the right to go in and remove it, paint over it.
How long did the other one last?
I think it was in 2017 or 18 that it was.
7 years.
Yeah.
So it's like a life of a mural?
That's a long, that's exceeding the normal life of a
Really?
mural. Usually they last about 4 or 5 years before they start getting
Yeah.
excessively faded. We have a lot of issues with the building as well, with cracks in the building and leaking in the building, and that sort of stuff that all needs to be taken care of.
I would like to see, if I had to pick one, I like to pick. Maybe connect it, because of, what's there now, and, it was based on unity,
Mhm.
and, we need more unity in the world,
Agreed.
and, based on, no matter what sexual preference or where you come from, what skin color you are, that what you had up there was an icon.
Mhm.
I like to see something like that replace that
Mhm.
icon. It speaks for a lot, it speaks volume.
Agreed.
May I get back to the issue about the deterioration of the building? Is that going to be rectified before the new mural is put on?
Yes, we're gonna, rectify all the, leaks in the building, if you look at it closely, you'll see there's a lot of cracks and lines. All of that has to be rectified, then it has to be painted over, back to white, and then it's gonna start again. So all of that has to happen.
Do you have a time frame for that?
In the next month or so.
For the repair of the
For
building?
the repair, correct?
Right.
And then how about the mural?
We're gonna try to do it back to back so that we get the repair, and we wanna try to get, scaffolding for the repair and then also for the muralist to use. And so we wanna finish the mural for sure before the end of September, and a lot of it's gonna depend on weather, all conditions, all that kind of stuff.
Thank you.
Summer heat. So ready, we can do a motion, are we all? Good? Okay.
Yeah, just for the record, I believe the number one is the round table, correct?
Yes.
If we're stating preferences, I want to state a preference, that would be my preference as well.
Yep.
I agree with the unity and the round table, and I think I think they're all visually appealing, they're all really
Yeah.
different. That one there, I believe is, as Ed said, is more in the spirit of what is being replaced with the MLK is bring everybody together, around the table, so that would be, if I can state a preference, that'd be my preference.
Sure.
It's on the board, it's easier to see. I did the same thing. I'm not even sure. It's on.
Just read that if you want.
Look up.
Where's it at?
Right,
I move to approve HRPZ project number 2400100097 and 2400000012 for mutual installation of construction located at 601 Lake Avenue. This project does not meet.
Oh, well.
Oh,
John. The applicant needs.
After meet. After meet your criteria based on analysis and staff reports.
I'll
The
second.
motion maker, does that include the staff recommended conditions?
Yes. Of course.
Okay, got the motion, got a second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone again? No, it's unanimous.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you very much. Thank you for the work you do.
That was her, the attorney.
Oh.
No, that wasn't Annie.
We never hold that on there.
She said there's biblical.
Can I ask a mural question? You know that mural that's on Olive, what's the park there, on Olive in Suma?
Yeah.
How long is that one supposed to last?
The gold one?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's supposed to age over time because it's like it's like metal.
Yeah.
So it's going to kind of turn to greenish in parts, and over time it should get, change color. So it's, again, thinking about 5 to 10 years, depending on how the, product works, but that's West Palm Beach.
Right.
City of West Palm Beach.
Oh. it's different?
Yeah.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you, right, say.
All right, so we've got item B. We don't have a PowerPoint for this one because it is really so brief. So this is an ordinance to amend the off.
Do you want me to read the caption?
Perfect. Thank you, Elizabeth.
Sure. Ordinance 2024-08, an ordinance of the City of Lake Worth Beach, Florida, amending Chapter 23 Land Development Regulations, Article 4 Development Standards, Section 23.4-10 Off-Street Parking, and providing for severability, conflicts, codification, and an effective date.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, sir.
for the record, Scott Rodriguez with Planning and Zoning. As Annie had indicated, this is a very brief LDR change. This is essentially striking out the fee in lieu for parking and eliminating those references in the land development regulations. And that's going to defer to the fee schedule moving forward. This eliminates if that fee changes in the LDRs, it eliminates us from having to change it every time the fee schedule changes or the amount changes.
Okay, so in other words, if the amount change, we don't have to go through all.
Correct. We just defer to the fee schedule.
Okay. That seems very, if you don't understand what they're saying, please ask.
So none of the language in here have changed from prior.
That's correct. We're just striking out really the specific amount. That's, I think, it's $15,000 in the land development regulations.
That goes up or down, just reference fee schedule, or whatever date we're dealing with.
And that's on page 4.
Line 205.
And also on page 5, lines 212 to 213 with the strikeout end underline. Page 5, lines 212 to 213.
We do, oh, there they are.
So we're just crossing that out as specified in the annual schedule of fees.
Correct. And then strike out an underline. Correct.
Right.
Are they gonna revisit any kind of similar with, do some house thing on this? Side this here, what are you doing on number? I guess you say 213. Are you guys going? Travis?
The parking section specifically?
Yeah.
Right now, it's not. Right now, we are going to be pursuing or proposing some fall land development regulation revisions. Right now, we don't have anything, and they're really minor changes. So right now, we don't have anything aside from this fee in lieu on the schedule for parking.
So you're not, I mean, is no workshop panel coming up on the flag situation place one? Well, I mean, if you're going to do all this here now, should you do everything one time?
Well, so the only thing that's changing again is that little bit that's getting cut and then added. The rest of this is all existing.
I understand, but I thought we talked about, I thought it was talked about in the commission meeting where they're going.
We're still coordinating some reasonable timeframes for both boards to meet so we can discuss some bigger code issues.
Especially in the mixed use area where they're doing all the quadruplex and they're in and grab the parking, go to the alley, it's on the road, flooded, you just see a cluster of cars. You didn't see that 20, 30 years, you didn't see that 20, 15 years ago. But with all this new construction, building all the stuff on Ocean Street, or Ocean Free, you know, L, whatever. You got to hear.
Yes, we are trying to work out some scheduling for a workshop for like I said, for those broader issues. Yes.
I thought when you're doing all this here, you should really do it all one time. Wouldn't it be easier than do piecemeal?
Well, we're not really doing. Again, a lot
I
of the,
understand about fees. I get it.
no. A lot of the changes that we're proposing from spring and to fall are really a lot of cleanup items. So we're not tackling those bigger issues at the moment, but like I said, we have a workshop in the works, and Annie and I discussed it today. We need to put that on the schedule and get everybody's scheduling, worked out for both. Again, this is for both a workshop for both the advisory boards and I believe the city commission as well.
All right, I need a motion.
Amy, put the motion back up there, would you please?
I can pull up the staff report if y'all don't want to go digging for it.
We're okay, I found it.
Awesome.
I move to recommend to the city commission to adopt the proposed LDR text amendments included in ordinance 20 24-08.
A second.
A motion and a second. All, any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Passage unanimously. Any, other fun stuff, Annie?
We have our planning issue to discuss. So this is intended to just be kind of a brief discussion, get your guys' feeling towards something, and then it would be potentially a slightly larger discussion next month. So replacement of flat white concrete tile roofs on non-contributing resources. So this is something that's come up not super frequently, but a couple times in the past, I don't know, a few months. And William recommended that we bring this to you for a little bit of direction. So our current design guidelines, flat white concrete tile can only really be replaced with in kind. Our ordinance talks about, you know, replacing in kind or with compatible, and our approval matrix says basically roofs are always staff approval unless it's an incompatible design. Now, on our non-contributing structures, we've gotten some requests from people to use different materials, most often asphalt shingle. And basically we wanted to get your guys' feelings tonight on how you would like staff to approach these requests. The kind of two big options are no change, non-contributing resources still need to replace their tile roofs in kind or take it to you all. Or an option for revision would be revising the COA approval matrix, which we would bring to you in July. And we would need to establish what alternative materials staff can administratively approve on these non-contributing resources. So whether that would be white or light gray dimensional asphalt shingles or some sort of alternative type of shingles, like these types of steel or stone coated shingles. Basically, we would amend that matrix to say, little asterisk, this is generally considered incompatible, except in the case of a non-contributing resource, staff can approve this, that, or the other for this type of roof. It would just basically, if you all wanted to do that, it would prevent people from having to come to you for a decision.
Why are we just,
Wait,
why is it just that roof though? that we-
listen, we beat this horse a few years ago,
Or
okay?
Did you?
Now, how does the state and how did they look? The ones that we report to as a municipality, how did they look at this?
So we haven't reached out to them for an updated reflection on this. They would be generally what we've got from them previously is, you know, replacing, maintaining the lines of an
Right.
existing one. So something like a standing seam to replace a concrete tile, they would be very much against, because that is such a vertical roof. Shingles, even if it's, you know, shingles replacing concrete tiles, it would at least theoretically maintain or be able to maintain a color and patterning.
Right. You know, we went through this a lot, and when the hurricanes and all that, and we were sitting here and it was, roof, windows, doors were in front of us. Our agendas were a lot longer than 2 and 3 people because they had to. So now that we're past the bungalows and we're in the mid-century. So, you know, 13th Avenue North, a lot of College Park, South End, you have these 50s, 60s homes that these roofs are going. And it's not so much the cement shingle, it's the nail that's holding the thing is gone. So these roofs end up sliding off and, you know, all kinds of things. What we did the last time pertained to the cost of a cement tile roof compared to a composition shingle roof, to where we came in, you have to bring a hardship roof. And now we're in it where you're not gonna get those 1 or 2. A lot of roofs are starting to go now because we're all at that point where, so I think the whole thing is how do we, and we're gonna do this next meeting, right?
Yeah.
How do we give you a direction? Because we don't have a lot of roofs in us, because the last time we pushed it back to staff and allowed them to do a lot more than they were able to do prior.
Mhm.
So I think what you're asking us is how much leeway we're gonna give you as a staff.
Yeah, trying to get a sense of basically, you know, we're gonna have something drafted to present to you. We want to know kind of how far to go. Again, we're really only looking to do this for non-contributing. We're not talking about doing
Right,
this on a contributing.
We're still gonna get those people in front of us that are either gonna argue, request, or try to do a hardship.
Yep. But yeah,
I think it's a good thing.
Why would we get them in front of us if we give staff the approval to?
It's for non-contributing.
Right.
Understand, the whole purpose of this board is historic preservation
Right,
Exactly.
resource. So if it's a non-contributing structure that has that, we're giving, you know, next month, we're gonna discuss how much authority we give to
Mhm.
the staff.
why are you saying it would still keep coming back to us anyway,
For the contributing.
for the contributors?
Yes. Because there is a big price difference, and that's where we were constantly at the other meetings. You know, depending on anybody's financial situation. I'm just gonna use round numbers, 20,000 compared to 10,000. That's how we were all determining it the last time. You know, there is a big price difference.
How to make somebody not want to be contributing? You know,
It's 6 and 1/2 to the other. You're in a historic district. You want to
Yeah,
be
you
the
could be in or
labor,
not.
you want to preserve our neighborhoods.
Mhm.
well, and the other balance is these tile roofs do stand up well to hurricanes.
last.
So you
Very much
pay
so.
more, but it lasts longer.
And there are new products that are coming out. I've seen a few come across my computer.
Yeah, yeah, and some of these ones, I think Erie was the one specifically that William knew about, but that's one of those stone-coated steel shingles, so
Right.
it looks a little closer than an asphalt shingle does, but it's,
Right.
you know,
And I thought I saw some metal products that recently that closer to a metal shingle, but more like a strip.
yeah, I've been meaning to look into specific brands and see what, you know, hurricane-rated ones are, but yeah, we've been hearing about those as well.
Yeah,
I'm glad you brought that up.
yeah,
Now we got a new product out there.
there are. I
There are.
saw one listing last week on Ocean Breeze that had the original metal shingle. And it looks awesome. It actually looks in good shape,
Mhm.
but it is deteriorated to the point where it's gonna need replacement. And we do have a few examples now in town that people did do it,
Mhm.
but again, it's the cost factor. You
I
know,
think they have the money to spend one.
it's 6 and 1/2.
Exactly. So that will give you more leeway.
It would give staff more authority to approve things at an administrative level. So just getting a sense from you guys, it seems like generally the board would be in favor of bringing that proposal. Do you guys have any sort of opinion on, you know, asphalt shingles, alternative types of steel and stone coated shingles? Do you have any sort of preference there?
Could you look into the, what's available and
Product type.
what
Yeah.
product types out there
Yep.
and bring it back to us?
Sure.
'Cause I think that'd be. good.
Yeah, definitely,
Big-
I'd like to agree with that, you know, because this is all kind of new stuff for me, you know, Bob's got a lot of experience and, you know, and to, you know.
Alternatives, giving you the ability to, you know, let them do an closest we can get. I think depending on every structure is gonna be different. I gotta remember, this is non-contributing. So when it
Mhm.
comes to the contributing, that's a whole different story. So I wanna call it the state, the historic people above us
Mhm.
as a municipality. They like kind to like kind when you're dealing with a contributing structure.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, in general, but yes, especially in contributing
And,
structures.
and the way we have it now with contributing structures, they would have to prove hardship to replace it with something other than what's existing.
Correct. Yeah, they would have to prove hardship to replace it. And again, typically we'd be going in that case for something like an asphalt shingle versus like a standing seam.
Or hardship,
Yes.
that we've done that in the past.
This is completely selfish, but I just realized I'm not going to be at the August meeting, but I will be at the July meeting, so you know, just throw that out there in the universe, you know. Be
Yeah.
Good to take a look at this in July.
Yeah, no, we're planning to bring it to the
Yes.
July meeting.
I'm not gonna be here August either, so we all might get a summer break. I have a question, are you done? I'm sorry.
Yes.
Okay. Years ago, not years and years, but years ago. The historic, when historic started, it was the same board as planning and zoning. They were a board.
Mhm.
Has staff or commission looked at it to the point where, when we are short, can the boards hey, Jimmy, we're short on historic this week, and you come from that board and sit on this board, or hey, Bob, would you be able to sit in planning and zoning? We're always short, we don't have the alternates, and we're always staring out the window, are we gonna have a quorum? So I was just thinking, if both boards did their little thing, filled out their own, speaking of a little paper thing, or how are we handling that? The one online we were talking about, your financial disclosure.
If you're okay with it, we can talk about that after the meeting.
Okay,
Perfect.
all right, so have they discussed that? I mean, I was just thinking of a reason, rather than trying to fill these boards and then get the alternates, can we just?
My understanding would be that to do so, we would have to amend the land development regulations,
Okay, I
because
was
right now they don't
curious.
they don't
Okay,
allow for that.
all right.
Yeah.
I think why is it that we don't have alternates anymore? It's just the
Don't have the volunteers.
people who are, wanna make themselves.
My understanding is that it was tough enough to fill anyways, and then we would have, and this is what I'm hearing from Sherry, because I haven't been here when we had alternates, but yeah, and then there were issues with, oh, is the alternate actually available when we need them?
Yeah.
So,
I mean, at one point, we had alternates sitting right there, every meeting, right? They were here. We always had a full, but right now it was a little short on volunteer, and it's also short on qualification, it's.
Yeah.
You can't have an entire board of citizen at large,
mhm.
but we're not gonna spend our time explaining what a Jollity window is, what a board is. What a land use, we're not gonna do that.
Mhm.
All right,
But we can
Unless you're
Yeah.
more motivated to learn like me.
unless we don't mind, you're awesome.
we can kind of add that to the list of things to, send up to William and see if we can get the commission to get their thoughts on it.
Yeah, and we should do a joint board meeting because we vote on the same things and we should know who the other board is. I think if they did decide that, which would help a little bit, because we used to have it that way.
Mhm.
I just think it would be useful on a Monday, we're short. Can you sit in on Wednesday evening, please?
Mhm.
Just call them.
There is one, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I believe we have one vacancy on this board.
We do.
Call it.
So I know I brought this up before, I apologize, Bob. Talking about there's a vacancy on our board.
Yeah,
So I don't know what the mechanism is for getting that filled. If there's I know we talked about, okay, we're gonna have the new election and then, see who the mayor is, see who the new commissioners are. Are there steps being taken to open up, I believe the process was like last summer, July, August, right?
yeah, we got it.
Are there steps to have another, what would you call it? Called arms?
Interview, yeah.
That is something that the commission technically has to instigate and run. So I've not heard any movement towards doing that in like the next month or so. But I can check in with William and report back in July.
And one last thing before we hit the gavel. When are we gonna see more Gulfstream stuff in front of us?
So we had the groundbreaking. I am not sure about the other steps in the permit, but the renovation permit has been approved by zoning and historic, so it's out of
Right.
my review hands. If they've got that in action, I know they've told William that they ideally will have that done in 18 months, and then the new building they want
Right.
to have into us by the end of the year is what we've
Okay.
been told. I don't know
'Cause
if any of that would need to come
thought
back to you
yeah, I
guys.
thought I heard something that we were gonna get something in front of us, or maybe it was that it was going into the city or something.
Yeah, I don't,
To us as by the end of the year as a CO for a COA.
they've got their approvals and all that, so they would be submitting for permits by the end of the year for the,
Building.
yes, correct.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think that there's
Nothing
anything
in front of
left.
the board anymore.
Not unless they make some sort of major change to it.
Build that building.
Annie, is it maybe something to do with the tax credit or partial
That's
tax
true.
exemption?
That's true. Eventually, so they were approved for a pre-construction ad valorem tax exemption. So yes, eventually that will come back to you guys for the post-construction approval. Thank you, Elizabeth.
Yeah, I thought something was, this was in the back of my head. All right,
That's for the renovation.
Yes,
That's to the bill, the old bill.
yeah, but that'll be after that's basically complete.
Anytime they come before us, they have to bring the ice cream truck back.
I'll let Amy and Amrit know.
Good.
Good.
All right, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Have a great evening. Stay safe. See you next month.